Crypto Conspiracies Ep 3, The Great Reset and Crypto. They call it the Great Reset, a phrase whispered in financial circles, blasted across alternative media, and tied to some of the most ambitious plans ever imagined for the global economy. Officially, it's about building a more sustainable world after crises like the 2008 crash, the pandemic, and rising global debt. Unofficially, many believe it's a roadmap to deliberately collapse the existing financial order and replace it with a tokenized system controlled by central banks and elites. At the heart of this theory lies cryptocurrency, but not the kind born in rebellion like Bitcoin. Instead, the Great Reset narrative revolves around government-backed digital currencies and hand-picked protocols designed for institutions. The IMF, the BIS, and the World Economic Forum have all published papers envisioning a world of digital IDs, programmable money, and tokenized assets. Conspiracy theorists argue this isn't a vision. It's a plan already in motion. Consider the timing. Global debt has reached levels once thought impossible, spiraling into the hundreds of trillions. Entire nations are buckling under the weight of interest payments. Traditional tools, printing money, raising rates, no longer solve the problem. The theory suggests this isn't an accident, it's engineered. A slow-motion crisis designed to force a reset, wiping away unpayable debts in exchange for something new. Central bank digital currencies, tied to a standardized messaging system like ISO 2022. And then, there's the role of specific assets, XRP, Stellar's XLM, Quant, XDC, all ISO-compliant tokens, all positioned as neutral bridge assets for cross-border payments. The Great Reset narrative casts these tokens as the chosen rails, already integrated into test pilots with banks, governments, and NGOs. In this telling, Ripple's XRP isn't fighting regulators. It's quietly preparing to become the backbone of a new global settlement layer. The plan doesn't stop at money. Tokenization is the buzzword of the decade. Real estate, stocks, carbon credits, commodities, everything recorded on digital ledgers. Conspiracy theorists argue this is the true Great Reset. Once assets live on controlled blockchains, every transfer can be tracked, every wallet tied to an identity, every transaction approved or denied. Freedom of money, they say, will be replaced by programmable money. The smoking gun? Statements from global leaders themselves. The World Economic Forum openly speaks of own nothing and be happy. The BS calls CBDCs the future of money. The IMF promotes cross-border settlement pilots. Are these just policy goals or breadcrumbs pointing to a preordained reset? To the believers, it's proof that the new system is already being built behind closed doors. And yet there's another way to see it. Some argue the Great Reset isn't a conspiracy, but simply a rebrand of long-term policy goals: sustainability, financial modernization, digital transformation. Central banks aren't plotting to enslave the world. They're trying to keep up with technology and avoid losing control to private stablecoins. In this view, XRP, Stellar, and other ISO tokens aren't chosen by elites. They're competing in the open market, and adoption comes from utility, not secret deals. Still, the overlap between the conspiracy and reality is striking. Global debt is unsustainable. Tokenization is accelerating. CBDCs are being piloted worldwide. Whether coordinated or not, the outcome looks eerily like what the Great Reset narrative predicted: a collapse of the old order and the birth of a new digital one. So is the Great Reset a master plan written decades in advance? Or is it simply the natural evolution of money in a world where technology is reshaping everything? The answer may depend on what comes next, whether these tools empower people or control them. Either way, one thing is clear: the age of paper money is ending. And what replaces it may be the most profound reset humanity has ever seen. This was episode 3 of Crypto Conspiracies. If you want more deep dives into the mysteries behind crypto, the Great Reset, and the Internet of Value, subscribe now to LTL Productions. The next chapter is coming soon.